1 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. Balloting for successful candidates under the government Hajj scheme will be held in Islamabad this afternoon. The Interior Minister says the government acknowledges the sacrifices rendered by the police and other forces in the war against terrorism. Pakistan's permanent ambassador to the United Nations says more permanent seats in the UN Security Council will not enhance its effectiveness. In occupied Kashmir, the Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred one more youth in Bandipur district today. And now the news in detail. Balloting for successful candidates under the government Hajj Scheme 2018 will be held in Islamabad this afternoon. The Minister of State for Religious Affairs, Pir Aminul Hasnat, will preside over the balloting ceremony. The Federal Cabinet at its meeting yesterday had allowed the ministry to immediately carry out Hajj balloting for 50% of the total quota of the intending pilgrims. The Cabinet took the decision after reviewing current status of the legal proceedings and the need to communicate maximum number of Hajj pilgrims to the Saudi authorities before the 3rd of this month for finalizing the flight schedules. The Minister of State for Overseas Pakistanis Abdur Rahman Kanju, along with MNA Iqbal Shah and MPA Amir Iqbal Shah, called on the Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi in Islamabad today. During the meeting, they discussed the ongoing development projects in their areas. Meanwhile, former squash world champion Jan Sher Khan also called on the Prime Minister. He discussed matters pertaining to the revival and promotion of squash in the country. Polling in connection with the by-election for a Senate seat is in progress in the Punjab Assembly, which will continue till 4 p.m. Dr. Asad Ashraf as an independent candidate and Dr. Zarqa Taimur of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf are contesting the seat. The seat had fallen vacant after disqualification of former PMLN Senator Nihal Hashmi. The Interior Minister Ahsan Iqbal says the government acknowledges the sacrifices rendered by the police and other forces in the war against terrorism. Addressing the inaugural ceremony of a model police station in Islamabad today, he said the police is being equipped with necessary training and tools to cope with the modern-day challenges, including cyber crimes.
Youth is a big opportunity for us, and it is important that we work very closely with youth to protect them from the negative attitudes. Islamabad police has already been told that there should be zero tolerance for drug trafficking in Islamabad, because it is our duty to protect our future by protecting our youth from menace of drugs.
The Frontier Corps Balochistan has conducted intelligence-based operations in Kabu, Mastung, Sanjavi, Dukhi and Doiwad, Dera Bukti areas of Balochistan on terrorist-suspected hideouts. According to ISPR, arms and ammunition including suicide jackets, rocket-propelled grenades, submachine guns, mines, explosive detonators and ammunition were recovered from them. Pakistan's permanent ambassador to the United Nations, Dr. Maliha Lodi, has said more permanent seats in the council will not enhance its effectiveness. Taking part in the interactive session of the intergovernmental negotiations in the United Nations aimed at making the Security Council more effective, she said responsibility for the deadlock over restructuring the United Nations Security Council for over 10 years lies with the countries who have not budged from their inflexible positions. Dr. Maliha Lodi said Italy and Pakistan-led Uniting for Consensus group in the UN Security Council has always been willing to look for common ground, revise our original proposal, and show flexibility. In occupied Kashmir, the Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred one more youth in Bandipur district today. The troops killed the youth during a crackdown operation at Shakardeen in Hajin area of the district. People took to the streets and staged forceful demonstrations against the operation and the killing of the youths. The Indian police and troops used brute force to disperse the protesters, triggering clashes between the demonstrators and the force's personnel. Armenia's parliament is set to elect Armen Sarkisyan this week as the president. Sarkisyan, 64 years old, is a businessman and Yerevan's ambassador to Britain, and he had chosen because of his experience as a diplomat and manager. In Europe, fresh heavy snowfalls and icy blizzards are expected today as the region shivers in a deadly deep freeze that has gripped countries from the far north to the Mediterranean south. Temperatures plunged below minus 20 Celsius overnight in numerous parts of Europe, even hitting minus 36 Celsius in Glatalp in the Swiss mountains. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.